Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT. Brett Jensen here with you on this Friday edition of Breaking with Brett Jensen, just before the holiday weekend. And we have got a packed show for you tonight. But we're going to start off with a wild situation going on in Union County and Monroe specifically. There's a restaurant there called East Franklin Superette and Kitchen, or East Frank Superette and Kitchen. Well, they put on drag shows, and there have been a lot of people protesting this situation, allowing kids to see this. So some of the protesters have had signs. Well, according to a lawsuit that was just filed a couple of days ago, apparently East Franklin Superette and Kitchen started photoshopping some of those photos of the protesters in order to enhance their own restaurant, if you will. So they were changing the wordings on the signs, and they're posting it all over social media with the actual same people, the real protesters, but changing the words on the sign to actually show support for the drag queen shows and the Superette kitchen and the food and everything else. So 7 of the protesters, along with the Coalition for Liberty, got together and hired a lawyer, and his name is Jason Sneed, and he's part of the SUED PLLC law firm up there in Davidson. So I had a chance to talk to him about this wild story and situation going on in Monroe and the lawsuit that they filed a couple of days ago. So, Jason, thanks for joining me. Why do you think you have a good case to win this lawsuit that was filed in federal court a couple of days ago?
Yeah, Brett, there are 2 things that have changed here. Number one is that this is these citizens who have been protesting the sexualization of our children, their image and likenesses have been used by a business to promote the business. So we get into false advertising by the business to use private citizens' photos to promote their businesses and their entertainment services. The other thing that's different is that the North Carolina privacy laws have right of publicity protections in them, so that that everyone has the right to control how their image and likeness are used, other than in a fair use context such as news commentary.
In your lawsuit, you claim that the owner of East Frank's Superette and Kitchen just kept doubling down and tripling down and just kept doing this over and over and over again, using the images and likenesses of the complainants, even though they asked them to stop. The Superette, and according to your lawsuit, kept going and going and doing it regardless.
Yeah, East Frank even went so far as to respond to these citizens' request to take down their images and photographs when they were being used to promote East Frank's business and its drag show entertainment services. East Frank went so far as to respond to them and say, keep complaining. Every time you comment in response to us, you drive the algorithms to show us more and publicize us more. So it was really encouraging them and taunting them in a way that is not only unfair, but it's just incredibly disrespectful and offensive.
I'm talking to Jason Sneed. He's a lawyer in Davidson and part of the SUED PLLC law firm, and he's filed a lawsuit on behalf of 7 complainants, along with Coalition for Liberty, against East Franklin Superette and Kitchen for allegedly using the likenesses of people that were protesting their restaurant because they were doing drag shows and allegedly doing it and inviting children to see the drag shows. And they were taking the photos and photoshopping them, keeping the people's faces in there, but actually doing it and changing the signs to say, well, these people are actually supporting us and they're not protesting us. So the 7 people have filed suit. Is there the possibility that you could settle out of court? Are you guys going to plan on seeing this all the way to the very end?
We have very committed plaintiffs here. They're quite offended at the way their photographs, their images have been used to promote events that they abhor and that they think are terrible for children. And so they're quite committed to this fight. I never like to prejudge settlement discussions. However, we always entertain settlement offers if they arise as a way to avoid trial. But I have plaintiffs here who are very committed to this fight.
Why was this filed in federal court?
Yeah, the federal part of this is because we have the federal law, the Lanham Act is implicated in the false advertising. So we have federal law that's been violated when a business uses makes misrepresentations of fact in promoting or advertising its own businesses or with respect to the facts about someone else. And so East Frank has done that here when they've used the images of people who are against their activities, their drag show activities, their sexualization of children, people who are against that, to use their images to advertise and promote their biscuit day or their drag show brunch or their other entertainment royal review events. That's a violation of federal law prohibiting false advertising.
I know you wouldn't have filed the lawsuit if you didn't think you had a great case, but do you really think it's a great case?
We're very confident in our claims, and this is a very clear violation of federal law and also state law protecting citizens' rights to control their own name and likeness.
Attorney Jason Sneed and Davidson from the Sneed PLLC law firm, I really do appreciate you joining us. He is suing East Franklin Superette and Kitchen on behalf of 7 complainants along with Coalition for Liberty for allegedly using the image and likenesses of protesters and changing the signs that originally said from protecting the children into showing actual support for the kitchenette. So we'll pay close attention to this, and we'll see what happens on the side of East Franklin Kitchen and Superette, and if they try to settle out of court or if they actually try to fight this. I promise we'll keep you abreast of the situation.